Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be using one of these photographs, probably the one of the group of us here, and I am using the Kaiser Craft Daydream collection. I really like this page. I like all of the bits and pieces and the sort of already prepared for you of this page, but I'm going to cut off the branding strip and I'm actually going to be using this black and white striped one, but just a section of it. So I'm thinking about cutting off the strip there, and then I think actually no, I might keep that on there for later on and just cut the little bit of this that I need. So I'm going to be basically framing this page on two sides just to give that little bit extra pop and to make all of the black within this main page make it a bit lively and make it pop a little bit more. I really like this collection because I love this green. I'm just here putting some washi tape on the back just to secure that in place, and then actually going to glue that down. So I made sure that the page is a 12 by 12. And now I'm just going to go through some of the other little bits and pieces and work out what else I'm going to use. I quite like the title page, that's quite good, so I'll probably be using a little bit of that, and just going through to work out what I want for this page and possibly what pages I like for other projects. So just bearing in mind what I'm using and what I might want to use later on. So I'm just checking to see whether this page will go with what I'm trying to achieve here. So this is a little page with little houses. Absolutely love this. I like that there's quite a few connections with houses and streets and things. It's quite nice. Made sure that I knew how I was going to lay this. Of course, this page has to go up just the one way. You can't put it upside down or sideways. So I was just making sure there that I'm putting that in the right way. This page I'm thinking about putting some strips or maybe some flags. Decided that I'm just going to trim down my photograph, trim the white edge off my photograph. I'm just trying to work out whether I want it to go horizontal or vertical on here. I'm not 100% sure. And so I've turned it vertical here and thinking, yeah, actually I like it that way, but instead of strips, because it's going this way, I'm going to turn them into flags. So I'm going to have two flags down the bottom there, and this covers part of this paper. I really just want the hint of the pages behind. This photograph is actually of me at work with some work colleagues. Our boss, as a treat for us, he got a giant paella plate, and cooked us a meal at work, which was really nice. I'm going to add to the background, although there's quite a lot of detail on the background already. I'm adding some splatters. Now this does not come up very well, actually, this ink pad. It just gives a really faint hint, so it gives just a little bit of an element. I just really want these to be sort of ghost elements on the back of this, in the background of this, just to add and enhance what is already there. So I'm using a pipette and some water just to do some splatters. So I've got a few little splatters, but I'm not, they're really not showing up. They are very ghost-like, so you don't actually see them, only when you look at certain angles, but I actually quite like that. So out of these titles here, there's a couple of words that I quite like. So we're going for these two words in the green. So we're sticking with the green theme. So I've decided to sort of more or less keep this sort of monochrome. So we are remaining with the black, we're adding green and then just putting in hints of grey as well, as you've got that splash down the left hand side of sort of grey paint and on the right hand corner as well. So I thought that would be quite nice to add that as well. So as I've got the flag here underneath the photograph, I thought I might bring that embellishment and keep working with that sort of embellishment up the top of the page, just to have those two little areas where I have sort of a cluster. Now I'm just looking at this page and I love these little titles and things like that. So this green one here says, fill your heart with what's important and be done with all the rest. So I thought that was quite a nice title. Or quite a nice journaling card to put on this page. So I'm going to pop that to the side and try to work out exactly where I'm going to put this title. And I want to add a little bit of the grey underneath the photograph, but I'm not really sure that the clouds work. So I'm looking for another page. So this page, I know that what I want to do with this page later on. I want to use this as a background for a page, and I'm going to be using it more or less as a solid page. So I want a little bit of the grey arrows from the background, but I don't want to take too much of this paper. So I've literally taken it right from the middle where I know I'm going to want to put my photograph. And I'm taking a couple of little strips of this just to give the hint that this piece of paper is going all the way across behind the back of my photograph. And I've kept a little bit to put up in the top. I just cut a tiny little bit more of the page down, only because I didn't quite like the fact that I had an arrow and a half of an arrow, or a bit of an arrow, wasn't quite half. So I've cut that down, just having a look to see what's going on, and I thought I might add a little bit of stamping. So I'm adding a little bit of stamping in this grey. So I've got like it's a little spotty stamp that just does tiny little spots, and now I'm coming in with a stamp that does little circles. They're almost like rocks, and they have like a circle within a circle, and I quite like this stamp. Actually, sometimes I colour it up and colour the centre circle, and now I'm coming in with a light sort of brown, but again it looks almost grey on the page, because it is so fine and so faint, but it is the one stamp that at the end, besides this black writing, that is noticeable, quite noticeable on the page. So just a little bit of the journaling there, which I thought was quite nice, a journaling stamp. And I'm putting my flag back and thinking about whether there's anything else that I want to put on the background, but I actually quite like it like this. So I'm going to start layering up my pieces of paper again, and you know, popping those all back in the same places and working out what I want poking out behind the black piece. I've decided to put the ones that are covering the black houses on the right hand side, and I'm going to come in with a little bit more of this paper at the top so that it looks like the flags extend again. And I have decided that I'm going to cut down the journaling card a little bit, and I'm actually trying to keep this as a frame, that I might be able to use this little green section as a frame later on. And I'm popping that out because I thought it just sort of seemed to be sat there on its own. It doesn't seem to really pop sat there like that. So I am struggling with that and thinking about maybe using the frame behind the photograph to have a little bit more of the green. So I don't want to use any more of this piece of paper because I want to use it for something else later on. So I'm just thinking this isn't quite popping quite as much. So this little card might pop a little bit better if we use a little bit more of the black, and it will just then sit on the page and feel like it actually belongs there, as opposed to just feel like it's sort of floating, and it'll anchor it to the page. So that's what I'm doing here, just coming in and backing that one with this stripy black and white paper. So I'm now going to stick this down because I'm happy with where this flag is, and I'm quite happy with what I've got here on the page in form of paper, backgrounds, embellishments and words. So I'm going to start sticking some of this down and then come in with some extra embellishments and find some other bits and pieces from my kit just to finish dressing up the page. So the flags I lifted up, those small flags on the edges with the black dots. So I lifted those up just so that gives a little bit of dimension. I'm going to be sticking all of these bits down. Again, I am using glue to stick the main part of the flags together, and I will be sticking the top bits flat, but again I'll be lifting up the corners. Sometimes I pinch them and crease them as well, which I did a little bit more with the top ones than I am actually doing with these larger main ones. So I have got those foam dots. This time I've just used, or foam pads with these ones, I've just used the white foam pads, whereas on the top ones I used the black because I was concerned that they might be seen. So the blacks just create a shadow rather than anything else. So I've stuck that down, but I've given myself a little pocket. I'm not sure, I haven't quite decided how I was going to do the journaling on this page, whether I want it to be seen or not. So sometimes I do create a little pocket in case I want to at some stage put or if at the end, for end stage normally, put in a little journaling card. So I put hidden journaling. The wording in the middle there I've popped up on some pads, and now I'm coming in. I have these emoji stickers and stamps with words and things, and I thought it'd be nice to put some of those there. So at the bottom there I'm putting the words "I know, right?" just on there, and I have a little thumbs up emoji. I'm trying to put that on the page somewhere, but it didn't quite feel right. But I also have a few little arrows. These are plastic stickers, and they go on really nicely. They stick down really well, and they're just a bit of fun really. So there's just some random words and all of the emoji faces and things like that. But because we're not using colours, we haven't used any of the emojis on here. Coming in with a couple of extra words here that just say all day, every day, on here, and this lovely Flair badge with the camera. And then I thought these arrows would be absolutely perfect to finish off this page. Pop some. So I've got the emoji arrows, and above those I've put these enamel arrows just to give a little bit more of a twist to the page. And then I thought I'd come in with some wooden stars and my cat down in the bottom left hand corner. Hope you've enjoyed this page and that it inspires you to get out scrapping this week, and I will see you next week. Okay, have a good one. Bye.